I'm just wondering then, given particularly both yourselves as leaders, and research shows us that there's a perception gap between what leaders perceive either the impact of their D&I initiatives are having in the workplace, and the actual lived experiences of people who are meant to be beneficiaries of those D&I initiatives. And I'll probably nuance this by saying, following the murder of George Floyd, I was involved with interviewing a number of hundreds, in fact, of Black, Asian, as well as white employees working across several organizations in the corporate sector. And it was quite telling to see how the issue of racial inequality and inequity is still quite prevalent in the workplace, and the pain that a lot of people are expressing about not being heard, feeling like they're not, they don't belong in their workplaces. But at the same time, there seems to be a discrepancy between what leaders perceive to be the situation in their workplaces and those lived experiences. So my question to you both is, given that we have this awareness that there are these issues that are still out there that we need to address, how can we begin to make leaders in particular be aware of their actual lived experiences of their people, the groups that you've just mentioned, both of you? I'll start with you, Zarina.
It's a great question, and I'll pick up, I think, off where Susanna left off. I think with regards to almost the level of distance any individual can take in terms of their connection to somebody of a different race. If I think about all the other different protected characteristics that we might talk about in the D&I space, very often you will either be somebody in your family will have one of those particular characteristics, or you will partner with somebody that might have one of those characteristics. But race is certainly something that you can choose not to see, and it's a very deliberate, not deliberate, but it can be something that you unintendedly do based on the circle of friends that you have around you, but it can be more deliberate than that if you've got a particular view. And I think one of the sad facts about UK PLC at the moment is that still we have too many of a certain type of person that sit at the top of an organisation. And it's very easy, therefore, for leaders at the top of the organisation not to immerse themselves into the day-to-day experiences of people that might look slightly different to them. So I think that is one of the biggest, I think, opportunities for leaders to take advantage of, is to diversify the circle of friends or the contacts that they have, and really use opportunities to connect with people of difference as a way of learning. And that might not be on a day-to-day basis in a work opportunity, because you may be in a position where none of your direct reports currently look the same as you, in which case you've got the opportunity to change that from a hiring perspective. But so, even if we're not talking about hiring perspective, there are mentoring opportunities, reciprocal mentoring opportunities, buddying mentor opportunities, as well as a whole plethora of sort of learning material that's out there to start becoming more comfortable with people that might not only have a different colour, which tends to talk about race, but actually have different values and beliefs and cultural heritages that go with that as well.